Coming to the formal part of the ceremony, our director and principal will be honoring her gifts with the robe of honor and a shawl. Presenting a sapling to the resource person. So all these are small tokens of love and honor. Dr. Tajinder Sharma will be honored next. Students, I think you're not tired enough to clap. And clapping will show how much you gained today. We're very happy to have all of them with you today. Dr. Monica Agarwal. Mr. Dave Karan Sachdev. Thank you so much, everyone. A perfect picture to a very successful seminar. Thank you, everyone. Director, Principal, District Resource Person, the Faculty of Commerce Department. So students, in case you feel your energy has lowered down a little, once again we'll have Dr. Tejinder Sharma with us to deliver his valedictory address. So he made a very energetic beginning and he will conclude the seminar once again with the same fervor and energy. We look forward to hear from you, sir, once again. So I invite Dr. Tejinder Sharma for his valedictory address.
Once again, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be with you. We have had a seminar in which we all are talking about a very important thing, that is sustainability. But my dear students, tell me, what does sustainability mean to you? Sustainability का मतलब क्या है? क्या समझती हो इससे? Can anybody tell me? Yes, excellent. आगे आ जाओ, आगे आ जाओ. Oh, it's the same student once again. So give her a big hand. Yes. एक और हाथ चाहिए. A different one, please. Yes. अच्छा.
Sustainability's meaning is कि अगर आपने कोई चीज फिक्स किया है, कोई गोल फिक्स किया है, आप उसके ऊपर अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम फेस भी करनी पड़ रही है, बट आप उसमें फिर भी फिक्सेशन हो. फॉर एग्जांपल, आपने कोई स्टार्टअप किया है, उसमें कुछ फेलियर्स हो रहे हैं, फिर भी फॉर एग्जांपल, इसके लिए बेस्ट एग्जांपल है मैगी. मैगी इंडिया से आउट हो चुकी थी लास्ट ईयर्स, बट मैगी ने फिर से वापस अपनी जो भी उसकी वीकनेस थी, जो भी उसमें कमी थी, उनको रिकवर करके वापस से बैकअप किया. एंड नाउ द कोई भी पर्सन है, हर किसी नूडल को हम किस नाम से जानते हैं? मैगी. सो मैगी ने एक मार्केट एक्वायर की है और रिप्रेजेंट करती है वो नूडल को. और कोई भी नहीं बोलता कि हमें ये वाला नूडल चाहिए, हर कोई बोलता है कि मुझे मैगी चाहिए. सो सस्टेनेबिलिटी ये होती है कि आपको कोई चीज स्टैंडर्ड फिक्स किया है और आप उस पर कोई भी फेलियर है, कुछ भी है, बट उससे आप
कौन सी बुक में पढ़ा आपने? नहीं, कौन सी बुक में पढ़ा? जब आप बिना बुक के पढ़ते हो ना, तो फिर यही आंसर आते हैं. ठीक है, एक बार एक बुक में सस्टेनेबिलिटी को पढ़ना, फिर आपको एक अलग डेफिनेशन मिलेगी. आप दूसरी सस्टेनेबिलिटी की तरफ जाएं, राइट? शी इज नॉट रॉन्ग, Anchal is not wrong, right? Anchal talked about financial sustainability. She was talking about strategy. She was talking about comeback, right? Even that is not wrong. So, but sustainability means different for different people. So, since it's a valedictory, I suppose it should not be long enough that students start running away, and then after all, it should not be short enough that it doesn't justify being a valedictory address. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some personal experiences and some personal photographs which I have taken personally. Next. See, if we look at all of you have Facebook, I think so. वैसे ये Facebook वाले बच्चे हैं नहीं, they all are Instagram kids, you know. If you look at, am I right? You don't have Facebook now? You have Instagram and Snapchat, right? See, Facebook is our old school types, you know. We are old school types on Facebook. If you look at your old photographs, you will find that 2019 was a very landmark year. We lived a very different life before the pandemic came, the lockdown came. And this is a photograph which I had taken when we visited the Himalayas in 2019. See what a beautiful, it was a chance click, you know, I didn't click it very deliberately, but I was able to capture a moment which really is a very beautiful picture and I like it. See the hills, the beautiful clouds, and see the same picture has got so many different shades of nature which it is showing to us, right? We have had a very wonderful time. Next. Again, approximately the same place. I'm not good at photoshopping, so I couldn't remove these electric wires, right? But still, you know, nature at its very best is really very, very beautiful. Have you seen a sunrise? आजकल की जनरेशन से पूछना पड़ता है, बच्चों आपने उगता हुआ सूरज देखा है? हाँ? Yes, excellent. See how many colors the sun changes when it is below the horizon, when it is a little bit of dark, and from the dark, then slowly the sun's first ray comes, and then the whole aura around you changes, and then slowly, every minute, if you are making a slow-mo, if you are making a time lapse of those few moments from a hilltop or from a sea beach, you will find a very beautiful picture of the Mother Nature, right? Next. So this was a very beautiful time. This was a very beautiful time which we were having, but unfortunately, you know, the world in which the direction in which we all are going is very, very different. When it comes to development, next. When it comes to development, the first thing that happens is that you X out the trees. आपके आसपास कुछ पेड़ कटे हैं पिछले कुछ सालों में? जब भी सड़क चौड़ी होनी होती है, the first thing is that you pick an axe and you cut down the tree, right? This is a very common sight. Now, how many trees have been cut in last few years? How many trees have been cut in last few years, right? In one of the questions that was asked in Lok Sabha, the answer that was given was that in that financial year, about 32 lakh trees had been cut down. And this has been going on from last 15 to 20 years. You can imagine we have axed millions and millions of trees. That is why when we are talking about temperatures touching 50 degrees, I remember we didn't have fans, and if there was no electricity, we used to sit under a tree. And then we never felt that bad. But today, if the air conditioner is switched off for maybe half an hour in the night, we are not able to sleep. Why? Because we have cut down millions and millions of trees in this last 10-15 years, right? And on this very small piece of land, comprising of only 3.2 million square kilometers as compared to the whole of Earth, if there is a deforestation to this extent because of the human activities, you can imagine we are going to create a big havoc. Maybe, again, I may not get a chance to click the pictures which I had done earlier with beautiful snow, with beautiful greenery, with very beautiful mountains. Why? Because we are polluting our very beautiful mother nature. Next. See, this is a photograph which is again reflective of a very common thing. Sir was saying that we are not managing the waste properly. The result of that improper waste management is we are having mountains and mountains, truckloads and truckloads of the waste that is coming up around us. यमुनानगर में इस तरह के डंप्स हैं क्या आसपास आपके? हाँ जी? हाँ, तो हम क्या करते हैं? बस सिर्फ थोड़ा बहुत सरकार को कहते हैं कि हाँ भैया कुछ नहीं कर रहे, एमसी कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, सब क्या कहकर हम आगे चले जाते हैं, राइट? और उसके साथ हम थोड़ा सा कचरा और फेंक आते हैं. Let us make our contribution also to this whole dumping ground, right? Now this is something that I think so really is a time when we should be introspecting. I'm going to show you another picture. Next. See, this is a picture which I have taken personally. This is a picture of a very beautiful hill station. The name of that beautiful hill station is Kufri. Have you been to Kufri? You have been to Kufri? See, on one hand we have got very beautiful mountains, but just near the Kufri market, if you stand and just look at jahan tak nazar ja rahi hai, you find there are truckloads of the waste. And most of the waste is comprising of the plastic bottles, the poly bags, and all these kinds of things, which is not going to be disposed for maybe next 1,000 years. Will these trees look the green after a few years? If we are going to have this kind of dumping around us, tourists go there, people get money, right? People get enjoyment, but then after that, who suffers for this? Who pays for this? This is something that we really need to talk about. Next. Sustainability basically comprises of three main factors. One is the economic sustainability, the societal sustainability, and the environmental sustainability. Next. Environmental sustainability. You see, I showed you a couple of photographs just now in which we were talking about dumping grounds, we were talking about deforestation. Then the point is this development sustainable? I told you in the earlier lecture in the morning that India remained at the helm of the economic affairs for almost a millennium. Why we were able to sustain this for 1,000 years? Today, no country remains a superpower for more than 100 years, right? Britishers became a superpower and they continued it for 200 years. Then, America, and then now we are living in a multipolar world. Why they are not able to sustain for 1,000 years? A simple reason is this growth is based on consumption, whereas our growth was not based only on consumption. Consumption was happening. It's not that it was not happening, but that it was a sustainable consumption, wherein in our daily life, we were taught how to be sustainable. So when you are watering the plants, when you are paying your homage to sun, when you are paying your homage to, say, the world around you, you are basically reflecting an inner thought in which you are becoming sustainable, right? So environmental sustainability is not something that is different, right? It is enshrined in every activity that you do. तो इसलिए आप कहीं पानी दो ये आपकी आस्था की बात है, पर अगर एसी स्विच ऑफ करते हो, पंखा स्विच ऑफ करते हो, लाइट स्विच ऑफ करते हो, तो मैं समझता हूं वो भी आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन होगा टुवर्ड्स सस्टेनेबिलिटी. नेक्स्ट, environmental sustainability, is really going to address that are we going to give the same earth to our children as we have inherited. हम सबके ना एक ऋण होता है, जिसे कहते हैं पितृ ऋण, राइट? पितृ ऋण क्या है कि जो हमें पुरानी जनरेशन ने दिया, हमें उसी तरह का एक एनवायरनमेंट और अपनी आने वाली जनरेशन को देना होगा, राइट? पितृ ऋण ये है कि नई जनरेशन भी होनी चाहिए. आजकल तो पता नहीं इंस्टाग्राम ने सबको इतना अकेले अकेले कर दिया है, राइट? People are becoming so self-centered. I think so. That is again not very good thing that is happening in the society. So when we will think about others, at least our own family, I think so we will be little more sensitive towards environmental sustainability. Yes. How many cars do we need? पहले कोई गाड़ी नहीं होती थी, सारे घर में एक स्कूटर होता था, राइट? बट देन आज हर घर में, हमारे घर में 3 हैं, राइट? 4 लोग हैं, 3 गाड़ियां, और अभी कम पड़ रही है एक, सीरियसली, कि भाई एक और लेनी पड़ेगी, लग रहा है कि काम नहीं चल रहा, क्योंकि सबके अपने अपने शेड्यूल है. How many cars do we need after all? Do we really need so many cars? Automobile industry is hungry about selling cars, they want everybody to have 2-3 cars. But are these cars really sustainable, right? Sustainable in so many dimensions. I think so we now will have to think about that what is the level of prosperity, how do we define our happiness, how do we define our prosperity. This is what we will have to redefine to ourselves. Only then we will be able to achieve the environmental sustainability. Next, please. The consumption has to be really sustainable. The next is the economic sustainability, right? We may talk of big morals, we may talk of big ethics, we may talk of big things, but ultimately, you have to be sustainable yourself in terms of the economic viability. Economic viability as an individual, economic viability as an institution, economic viability as a corporate, economic viability as a nation, economic viability as a society, right? So whatever we do, हम तो कॉमर्स वाले हैं, देखिए हर चीज में बिजनेस मॉडल ढूंढते हैं. तो अगर आपके बिजनेस मॉडल में माइनस ज्यादा होगा, प्लस कम होगा, कॉस्ट ज्यादा होगी, रेवेन्यू कम होगा, तो वो सस्टेनेबल नहीं होगा. Our business models have to be sustainable, right? So economic sustainability, really, we need to think about how we can create a system in which there has to be an equitable distribution of wealth. See, artificial intelligence is now here. We have to accept that artificial intelligence is not going to go away, right? And artificial intelligence is going to definitely pose a challenge to the. Then what should we do? Should we dump artificial intelligence? That's not going to happen, right? Once it is there into the market forces will make it function. Why? Because it improves the productivity. Then the other part is, let us learn artificial intelligence and see how we can put it to the best use. हम लोग कहते हैं कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से बच्चे पढ़ना लिखना छोड़ देंगे, चैट जीपीटी से वो बुक्स नहीं पढ़ेंगे, राइट? बट अगर हम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से जो मैकेनिकल चीजें हैं उनको दूर करके productivity की तरफ जाएंगे, तो मैं समझता हूँ it will create some more jobs, it will create some more opportunities, and probably we have to really use it so that we can become sustainable economically. Next, after the economic sustainability, we really need to develop the roadmap for next 100 years and not just concentrate on the present times. Because often, we talk about the current financial year, the current month, the current week, but we have to have a roadmap for next 50 years, 100 years as well. And as a value proposition, value delivery and value growth, we have to evolve a system. Sir was talking about giving a feed for the animals and then, animals feeding the human beings, right? Can we have a tertiary, can we have a different business model of feeding the human beings, wherein we don't need this middle level of, nutrient factories. I don't call them as animals, they are only nutrient factories, because the way you are converting a feed into meat, right? It's happening like a factory. And this is causing more harm than probably it is doing some any good. Nutrients you can get from other sources as well. So can we revisit our old values, our old, you see, if we were a vegetarian society, it was not because we couldn't afford it. It was because it was sustainable, right? It was sustainable. So can we revisit our old values once again? Be a little more conscious about the people around us, about the living beings around us, and understand that killing something just for food is something that doesn't go down my gut, right? So can we have a different food supplement which is going to take care of me? So these are the things when it will happen at a large scale will lead to more sustainability, right? Will lead to more driving of the human race as well as economic growth. And of course, yes, vegetable food is definitely much more affordable, much more digestible, much more cheaper. Anyway, I don't go into this controversy, but the fact is that our lifestyle things may have an impact on economic sustainability as well as environmental sustainability. Next. This is a very painful picture which came in a newspaper a few years ago. This picture is of a girl from Kurukshetra. She was killed by her own father, right? And media men were cruel enough to take the photograph of the dead body and post it in the newspaper. But I took it, and rest of the papers photographs are also the photographs where the own family members have caused harm to their fellow beings. The fault of this girl was that she was found dating with her friend, right? And her parents killed her. Is this the society that we want to live in? Should we have a society where there is no freedom, right? Next. This is definitely not the society in which we all want to live in, where everybody hates everybody. When you are coming out of your home, you are not very sure whether I will be able to reach home safely, right? You are not safe even in your homes. I think so. This is not the world which we had dreamed of. We dream of a very peaceful world, a very harmonious world. We talk of big values, big morals, big things. But then when it comes to practice, I think so we need to do something really serious as a society. Our society is changing. And incidentally, the pace of change of our society is much faster than the pace of change happening at other places, right? So this pace of change has to be the one which is sustainable socially as well. Because economic sustainability, environmental sustainability would be meaningless if we are not sustainable socially. Certain neighboring countries, when we look at the kind of social fabric they have, right? And when we look at the status of the common person who is living there, afflicted by so much of the things happening within their, aura, within their contexts, we really feel how those people are living there, right? We don't want that to be replicated here. So we will have to build a society which is more sustainable, which is more livable, which is more enjoyable, which is more palatable, right? So as an individual, we really need to have a society where I can reach home safely. When I lock my home, and if I have to go for a week, there will be no buddy breaking into my home. My daughter can travel alone. People will not block the road. And if I have to go to a hospital, I will be able to reach the hospital and get the treatment. And as a businessman, I also need to be sure that there is going to be no interference from the peripheral stakeholders. Then no protests are going to hamper my business. Every second day we find, there are strikes. Somebody, sometimes, somebody goes for a strike, then somebody else. So businesses cannot be functioning in such a society. People will not mix traditions with work, and there will be no recommendation to recruit somebody on the basis of recommendation, right? No change in the policy regulation, and as a businessman, will I really get a place which I deserve? So this is what is going to be the social component of sustainability, right? So society, actually we get the government depending upon the type of society we are. If we want to be progressive, if we want to grow, if we want to make a Viksit Bharat, we are going to get an ecosystem accordingly. So I think so collectively we must talk about that if we dream to build a different, nation, a different world in next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, we will have to start individually as well as collectively working together right now. Next. Then where lies the solution? We have to decide. We have to decide what we have to do as an individual, because small actions make a big difference, right? When we do small actions, we know in commerce we study the concept of artificial person. Now, artificial person comprises of the real persons only. Artificial person is not something very different, right? So, actions of real persons, small actions of real persons, the values that they have, the thoughts that they have, the ideas that they have, right? They all influence the functioning of the artificial person, that is the corporate. So, if you are ethical as an individual, the decisions that you will take as a business manager or a CEO or FD of a firm will also be ethical. So let this ethics be a part. And ethics is not something that we teach to students. It's not something that comes through an oath. It's not something that comes through a sermon. It's a part of life, part of growing up, part of thought process. And that is what is going to lead us to all three types of sustainabilities, whether it is economic, whether it is environmental, and whether it is social. Collective decisions and actions, right? I think we'll skip this. I've already said this. Individual decisions and actions, environmentally, economically, and socially. We need to have a sustainable lifestyle. The first thing is, after all, we need to start about what are the aspirations that we hope for. अभी इंस्टाग्राम ने बड़ा कलेश कर दिया है, क्योंकि दूसरों की एडिटेड फोटोग्राफ्स को देख देख के हम इतने परेशान हो रहे होते हैं, अपनी दुख से दुखी नहीं है जितना दूसरों की खुशी से दुखी हो रहे हैं. Am I right? इतने कनेक्टेड है पर फिर भी अकेले हैं, राइट? तो हमें इस माइंडसेट से बाहर आना पड़ेगा. We'll have to create sustainable consumption, revisit the social values जो हमें हमारे समाज ने सिखाया है इतने वर्षों से, चाहे हम कोई भी धर्म माने, राइट? जो हमें हमारे समाज ने सिखाया है, I think so those values have to be really there. And then my actions should not harm others. Non-violence as a philosophy. Non-violence is not only about being vegetarian or something. Non-violence is about doing every action which doesn't harm anybody other than me. And of course, yes, क्योंकि NSS हमारे अंदर बसा हुआ है, तो लास्ट लाइन जबरदस्ती वही आई. अक्सर मैं कई बार भाषणों में कह चुका हूं कि आप सारे काम छोड़ दो, सिर्फ एक जाप रोज शुरू कर दो. सुबह एक माला उसकी रोज जाप करनी है आपने, आपका जीवन बदल जाएगा. वो जाप है नॉट मी बट यू. अब एनएसएस ताली होनी चाहिए इस पे. Right? So we have to think beyond us, right? When we will think beyond us, that is not me but you. ये बहुत गंभीर विषय है, not me but you. जैसे आपने ममा की बात की थी, ना मामा मंत्र के अंत में आ रहा है, वो वही है, not me but you, right? इदम राष्ट्र इदम ना ममा means it's for a bigger society. It's not for me. When we will have this thought, I think so sustainability will be a natural outcome and a byproduct of our actions. Next. Let us all work towards building a more sustainable future. आज जो आपने सेमिनार किया है, right? I think so if it can generate thoughts, maybe sustainability can be a part of the systems. मैं बहुत बार रिक्वेस्ट करी थी कि प्लास्टिक का प्रयोग ना करें, ये बुके बिना प्लास्टिक के भी बन सकते थे, प्लास्टिक की बोतलें ना हो. हमारी नस नस में सस्टेनेबिलिटी को लेकर एक ऐसी थॉट जानी चाहिए कि वो जरूरी है. कम से कम मोमेंटोस की जगह प्लांटर्स तो आ गए, और ये आए इसलिए क्योंकि अनेक वर्षों से इस पे मंथन चल रहा था, बातें चल रही थी, राइट? अब हम प्लांटर देते हुए जो है खुशी महसूस करते हैं. वैसे मेरे घर में इतने प्लांटर अलग अलग पॉट्स के और अलग अलग पौधों वाले हो गए हैं कि लगता है कि हाँ भाई यस दे आर कन्वेइंग अ गुड मैसेज ऑफ सस्टेनेबिलिटी. I think so if we can take home one single idea, that will be really very valuable. So students, can you make a promise today? आज बिना बताए who raises the hand? Yes sir, I'll do the promise. Can you make a promise? Good. That promise is that you will stop the use of polythene, right? And you will save at least one poly bag every day. One, right? There are 100 students sitting here. If we will save one, we will be saving 100 in a day. And in a month, we will be saving 3,000. And in a year, we will be saving 36,000. So you can imagine how different our city will look if there are 36,000 less polybags. Start small actions, and the world will change around you. World will become a better place to live in. World will become more sustainable. With these words, I say thank you very much once again. Congratulations to one and all for organizing this very beautiful event. And I pray that this becomes a benchmark and this becomes a springboard for building a different world around us. Thank you so much.
Small steps can lead to big, giant steps, leaps. Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed a pleasure listening to you. And I'm sure our students are highly motivated. And the pledge which you have taken, I hope you will not forget it once you step out of this auditorium. So, with this, we come to the end of this seminar. Before inviting the HOD of Department of Commerce, Mrs. Raman Jodhpur, my request to the student and teacher delegates who have still not presented their papers, please move to the seminar hall and present your papers here. So now I request Mrs. Raman Jodh to present a formal vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. I'm pleased to be standing here on behalf of Department of Commerce to convey my gratitude towards one and all present here. First of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to Almighty God, Sant Pandit Nishchal Singh Ji Maharaj. I'm extremely thankful to Management General Secretary Sardar Manoranjan Singh Sahni Ji, Director Madam Varinder Gandhi Ji, Principal Madam Ravinder Kaur Ji, for their constant support and guidance to conduct this seminar smoothly. My heartfelt gratitude towards Professor Tejinder Sharma Ji, Mr. Rudgar Udyan, Mr. Dev Karan Ji, Professor Monica Agarwal for accepting our invitation and enlightening us with their knowledge and opinions. A huge round of applause for all the delegates who joined us for today's seminar and played a vital role for making today's seminar successful. It isn't something that happened overnight. Weeks ago, the wheels began to turn. We have been lucky enough to have the support of a team of proactive and devoted members in our department who worked day and night for this seminar. So thank you to the team of our department. I would be falling short of words, responsibility, if I did not express my gratitude towards the both teaching and non-teaching staff of GNG. I'm thankful to our State Secretary, Mrs. Dilshad Kaur, our technical team under the leadership of Dr. Aarti, our refreshment team under the leadership of Dr. Prabjot Kaur and Ms. Ruhi Garewal, Dr. Mandeep Kaur from Music Department, Ms. Taranjit Kaur, Mr. Gulab Singh, and all the other faculty members who are directly or indirectly connected with this seminar. I need to mention my deepest sense of appreciation towards Dr. Sima Sharma and Mrs. Babila Chauhan, who chaired today's session very efficiently in seminar hall and on the online mode through Google Meet. Last but not least, thank you to all the students who are sitting here with so much efficiency and disciplined manner. After that, I would like to thank, especially आज इस रंगोली को बहुत ज़्यादा appreciation मिला. So this rangoli is made by two of our students, Komal and Harsimran. So a huge round of applause for those two girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Raman Jodh. With this, we culminate our today's event. It was indeed a big success. It was pleasure listening to all our resource persons. We look forward to more association with you in future. The samplings lying in front of you shall be a reminder of D&D's affection for you all. So now is the time for a national anthem. Before that, I request all the teacher and student delegates that before leaving, they can take their lunch, which is outside the auditorium. I request all of you to please stand up for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you everyone once again. The teacher and student delegates have registered for the seminar can now proceed outside and take the lunch.
Thank you.